The observer. The observer in our head is a fascinating and complex concept that touches on a range of disciplines: philosophy, psychology, neuroscience, and even spirituality. Often referred to as the inner witness, this aspect of ourselves is not the part that acts, thinks, or feels. Instead, it is the part of us that watches, perceives, and reflects upon our experiences, both internal and external. It's the silent, detached observer of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, constantly aware of what's going on, but never fully involved. In a way, the observer allows us to step back from our own lives and gain a sense of distance, clarity, and perspective. This inner observer has often been described as a witness consciousness in various philosophical and spiritual traditions. In these contexts, it represents the essence of who we truly are, beyond the shifting thoughts, fleeting emotions, and constant changes that define our day-to-day existence. It is the part of us that remains unchanged and unmoved by the turbulence of our mental and emotional landscapes. It is the stillness within the storm, the unshaken center in the midst of chaos. Think about those moments when you are caught up in an emotional experience. Perhaps you're angry, anxious, or overwhelmed, and yet, somewhere inside, you realize that you are experiencing these feelings rather than being these feelings. Perhaps you step outside yourself for a moment, as though watching yourself in a movie, seeing how you are reacting to the situation with a sense of objectivity. This is the observer in action. It's the part of you that is aware of the moment, but not consumed by it. This space between experience and reaction is where the observer resides. From a psychological standpoint, the observer plays a critical role in helping us develop self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Without this aspect of ourselves, we would be entirely absorbed in our thoughts and actions, lost in the current of our daily experiences. It's through the observer that we become aware of our own behavior, thoughts, and emotions, allowing us to reflect and make conscious choices rather than reacting impulsively. The observer acts as a kind of internal guide, helping us assess situations, understand our motivations, and make decisions that align with our values. The observer also helps us to recognize patterns in our behavior, both positive and negative. For instance, when we find ourselves repeating unhealthy patterns of thought or behavior, the observer can help us spot these tendencies before they take over. In this way, the observer is not only a witness, but also an opportunity for growth and transformation. By seeing ourselves from a more objective standpoint, we gain the ability to challenge our assumptions, break free from old habits, and adopt new ways of thinking and being. In mindfulness and meditation practices, the role of the observer becomes even more pronounced. Through these practices, we learn to strengthen our connection to the observer, helping us step out of the mind's constant chatter and into a state of pure awareness. By practicing mindful observation of our thoughts and emotions, we create space between ourselves and the mental and emotional reactions that typically dominate our experience. This helps us develop a deeper sense of inner peace and acceptance, as we learn to witness our thoughts without becoming entangled in them. However, the relationship between the observer and the mind is not always smooth or easy. In times of stress, anxiety, or emotional overwhelm, the observer can seem distant or inaccessible. When our thoughts become particularly intense or our emotions spiral out of control, it can feel like the observer is drowned out by the noise of our inner world. In these moments, we may feel entirely consumed by our emotions or thoughts, as if there is no part of us left to step back and observe. But even in these moments, the observer is still present, albeit obscured by the intensity of the experience. Through mindfulness practice, we can learn to reconnect with the observer and regain our sense of perspective, no matter how chaotic the mind may seem. This dynamic between the observer and the mind also plays a key role in the stories we tell ourselves. We are constantly narrating our lives internally, interpreting events, making meaning, and shaping our identities. The observer watches this internal narrative unfold, sometimes reinforcing it and sometimes questioning it. Over time, we can become so attached to our inner story that it begins to define us. The observer, however, has the potential to step back from this story, to question it, and to see it for what it is, a collection of thoughts and beliefs that may or may not reflect the truth of who we are. By cultivating a strong connection to the observer, we can begin to rewrite our inner narrative, breaking free from limiting beliefs and embracing a more authentic sense of self. The observer also connects to the idea of a non-attachment, a concept often explored in Eastern philosophy. Non-attachment is not about being detached or indifferent to life, but about recognizing that our thoughts, emotions, and experiences are impermanent. Just as the observer watches without clinging to any particular thought or feeling, we too can learn to experience life without becoming overly attached to any one moment. This fosters a sense of freedom and equanimity as we become less reactive and more present in our daily lives. Ultimately, the observer is a reminder that we are more than just the sum of our thoughts and emotions. It points to a deeper, more expansive aspect of our consciousness, one that is always watching, always aware, but not always involved. By recognizing and nurturing the observer within us, we can develop a greater sense of clarity, peace, and insight. We can step outside of the constant stream of thoughts, judgments, and emotional reactions that often define our experiences and gain a sense of perspective that allows us to live with greater intention and purpose. In a world that is constantly pulling us in different directions, the observer offers us a chance to pause, to reflect, and to recenter ourselves. It invites us to slow down and to remember that, even in the midst of our busiest, most chaotic moments, there is always a stillness within, a silent witness that is both unshaken and unchanging. By cultivating a relationship with this inner observer, we can find a sense of peace and clarity, regardless of the storms that may rage around us. I hope you can find your observer and explore your inner world. We wish you all the best blessings and good fortune on your divine quest. Thank you for watching.